Good morning to everybody. I am hoping that everyone is having a wonderful Monday morning. It is Monday, the 26th of February 2024, here in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. You're listening to Azard Gumbs and with on Island Tea this morning. So we are here on Island Tea, and there are a number of topics for discussion. We are hoping that you can weigh in on these topics as we go forward. At 8:30 we have our usual traffic talk. So we have the officers coming in and speaking to us about traffic related matters. At 9:30 we are going to have Team St. Kitts, the team that would be competing and representing St. Kitts in the Leeward Islands debate competition this year, hosted in St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Kitts. And so we are going to have a number of things that we can discuss. We were to have Dr. Patricia Bartlett from the NRP. However, we received word that she could not make it today, and so I'm going to give you the reason. But as we go on, there are some matters that have been, in the news, and so we want to highlight those and then weigh in and ask persons to call and give their point of view. We have here from the St. Kitts or the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force. It says Craig Tuckett charged for attempting to pervert the course of justice. It says the police have arrested and charged Craig Tuckett of Bird Rock, St. Kitts for the offense of attempting to pervert the course of justice. The criminal offense was committed on February 12, 2024 in Bastille, St. Kitts. Mr. Tuckett was charged on February 23rd, 2024 at the Bastille police station. So that is one that has really been in circulation, considering that Mr. Tuckett is an attorney at law. And so, of course, just highlighting that has been the official charge that is from the Royal St. Kitts Police Force. And, we don't want to add more to what has already been given, but just to highlight, because I know that was something that was circulated and persons were speaking about what occurred. And so if persons are interested, they could visit the Facebook page of the St. Christopher Police Force to get more information as it relates to that. On Friday, we had a conversation here about the salary increase. And of course, it is a very hot topic here in St. Kitts and Nevis. It was brought to the citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis through Parliament just last week, when the Attorney General introduced it and spoke about the recommendations that were given by the committee. He then gave on WINNFM the breakdown of the persons who form part of that committee. And he discussed the government's position on it on Friday. I have some clips so we could have them played throughout the program if we have the time. But since then, there have been persons speaking about the proposed, the recommendations, the approved recommendations. And so since then, the People's Action Movement has indicated its position on the matter. So far, this is the only statement that I have seen from any political party on the matter. And so allow me to read the statement that was issued, and then we could get into the discussion of other topics. And so it says, 23rd February 2024, it says, statement on the increase in ministers' salary. It says the People's Action Movement has noted with concern the timing of the increase in the salaries of the ministers. This government came to office less than 2 years ago and has yet to achieve any significant manifesto promises to be worthy of a salary increase. More importantly, we are concerned that there has been no major capital project to stimulate the economy over the last 18 months, which makes this decision even more unjustifiable. Additionally, we are all well aware that after the effects of COVID, we are all aware that The after effects of COVID are still impacting employment in St. Kitts and Nevis, with a number of people still unemployed and underemployed since the pandemic. This situation is exacerbated by the government's recent downsizing of the social assistance programs, which has cut thousands of needy beneficiaries from the system. Further, we find it curious that this same government discarded all the social programs, PAP, SAFE, and the Peace program that were put in place by the Team Unity government, of which PAM has a majority. Of which PAM was a majority. They, however, found it convenient to use an outdated 5-year report to justify their salary increases, a clear indication of dishonesty and greed. We consider it a heartless and uncaring move in the face of the above-mentioned factors to give themselves a hefty salary increase while thousands of people are on the margins of poverty. Are we to assume that they are themselves feeling the hardship of the economy? Are we not surprised that the mover of the resolution did not receive any support from his fellow parliamentarians? None of them were willing to go on record to support this act of selfishness, knowing that they would have to face their struggling constituents the next day. Abstention, would not, however, absolve them from this barefaced decision. We implore the citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis to take note of the continuing flaunting of power by this government and to lend their voices to calling them out. And so that was a statement by the People's Action Movement on the salary increase, the salary increase of the ministers. Of course, if there are persons who want to call in and weigh on this topic, they can as well. It is something that persons have been discussing. We had the conversation with the Attorney General just on Friday, and we know that on other social programs, social media programs and radio programs, that this was discussed as well. In addition to that, I see some articles on the Loop News, and one of which touched it says, St. Kitts and Nevis Prime Minister formally announces his recent marriage. So it says here, and this is from Loop. It says here, Prime Minister of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, Dr. Terence Drew, has formally announced his recent marriage to Diane Prince Drew. Lady Drew is a native of St. Vincent and the Grenadines and is elated to now make St. Kitts and Nevis her home. She is an attorney who is a graduate of the University of the West Indies at Cave Hill, Barbados, and the Hugh Wooding Law School, Trinidad and Tobago. In her most recent professional role, she served as St. Vincent and the Grenadines Special Envoy to the European Union. She previously served in other various diplomatic roles at the Permanent Mission of St. Vincent and the Grenadines to the United Nations, including as a legal advisor and as a deputy political coordinator and also a special advisor. Lady Drew has taken keen interest in the arts and is passionate about social justice and women's empowerment. She is committed to working in these areas in her adopted home of St. Kitts and Nevis, and she intends to dedicate time to non-governmental and charitable organizations. Lady Drew looks forward to supporting Prime Minister Dr. Terence Drew in furtherance of his initiatives and in service to the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. So those were some of the articles that relates directly to St. Kitts and Nevis and some of the stories that have been circulated and in the news. At this point in time, I want to welcome back Kortensia. Welcome back. Good morning. It is good to have you back on Island
It's good to be
Tea.
back.
Yes. You were surely missed.
Oh,
Yes.
that's so sweet.
And so we welcome you back, and we hope and wish that your time would have been well spent.
It was quite productive, I
and
must
quite
say.
productive, yes. You're back now, and what are your thoughts on some of the matters if not these matters, are there any other matters that piqued your interest?
Well, I can't say that because my mind or my mental space was taken up with the work that I had to do
Yes.
whilst I wasn't here. So I wasn't focusing on anything else but that work because I had a goal in mind, which I accomplished. Thanks be to God. So I'm happy about that. But I heard you reading about the salary increase. This salary increase, wasn't it there when the previous administrations were there? And it's just that this government is now enforcing it to ensure if they do not make it back, and at least the next government will have a nice looking salary. Isn't that it? Because most of the work that is done or continued when governments change, isn't it the work that was left by the previous administration that everybody continues or does, and then they say, oh, I did that, but it was there before?
Yeah, this talk, as we look at it, it seems as though, or it was said in Parliament that this was a recommendation put forward by the previous administration sometime in 2018. The work was done to come up with recommendations. If you look at it, the Team Unity government, the collective, they won in 2020, and this was not implemented. This recommendation was not given the approval in Parliament.
Just yet.
Yeah, and it was not even mentioned. When I say mentioned, to the scale at which it is being mentioned now, many persons were not even aware of it in the normal running of things, or the average person was not aware that recommendations were taking place or had taken place, and these were the recommendations. It was only, I think, when they had the first year anniversary of the St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party's year in office, the discussion really started about the increase when persons were saying that, you look like you're going to be 85, and, those were the talk, and the Attorney General in Parliament really came and discussed the matter, presenting charts and the like. However, there has been severe criticism of it from persons. There are persons who support it, of course, and there are persons who disagree. So there is so much discussion as it relates to it now. One person I know, while listening another program, another host of another program had suggested maybe the timing is wrong, and the government, the administration, perhaps a better timing would have been after their first term in office. If they're elected back, then they make the changes then, having had the approval of the electorate and so forth, again, for a second term in office. So you will approve that their work was satisfactory to those who voted, and so therefore deserving of the increase. Of course, there is the argument that, the cost of living has risen, and ministers too are affected by the cost of living. There's the argument that the civil service, civil servants have received increases since 2005. The last time that parliamentarians received an increase was 2005. So the discussion is ongoing, and it is a very polarizing discussion.
But do you think if the last administration had won elections again, let's say this party wasn't in, do you think they would have looked at that and did give themselves this increase as well? Well,
it's hard to say. One cannot say, because given, if we are looking on the evidence, the recommendations were done based on what I'm understanding, because I wasn't there to know. I'm listening as somebody who has been hearing both sides. And so if recommendations were done in 2008, Team Unity won in 2020, between 2018, 2018, Team Unity won in 2020. Between those 2 years, even no discussion of it on this large scale, no discussion publicly on it. They then resumed office, having won the election in 2020 with a stronger mandate than they had before. And when I say a stronger mandate, they had increased the number of seats collectively. And so even during that time, I didn't hear anything about it.
Okay.
And then during the election, I think when persons really heard about it, and when I say persons hearing, it only became such a discussion, I think, last year.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the magnitude in which is being discussed only came up last year.
Because I would want to think that if they got along and they didn't have to call an election in 2 years, then they might have maybe.
Well, one can go based on previous action, based on the actions highlighted between 2018 to 2022 on the team unity, based on the fact that this report said was done in 2018. Did their actions during that time suggest that that was a priority to them? If it wasn't even discussed and brought to the attention of the public, or even when they won, not even mentioned.
Okay.
In the scale as it's mentioned now. So we could go based on actions of the past to determine, but that's not absolute. Just for us to perhaps, say, would it have been likely that they would have done it? Based on the past actions, persons look at what they have done over their time in office and the discussion, they be the judge, whether they feel that would have been. But based on what I'm seeing, it didn't seem to me to be a matter of priority. Okay.
So if and when the government should get an increase, you think it should not be now, or should they have, I will not put you in the hot seat, should they have held on a little longer and done other social things and social programs and enriched?
I think the timing, I think the timing is a bit, you see, we do realize, that cost of living has increased. We realize that
dramatically.
We realize that civil servants got an 8% increase just the other day. But then my question is whether or not the increase to civil servants was a genuine one, or just one to be done to set the stage for theirs.
But weren't civil servants due an increase for a while now?
Civil servants had received an increase.
When is the last time the civil servants got an increase?
2022. In fact, under Dr. Harris, the Honorable Dr. Harris, just before the whole election in 2022, if my memory serves me correctly, there was an increase.
Okay.
So civil servants had been given an increase. They then got an increase again. The civil servants got an increase, because we are not to confuse a minimum wage increase with civil servants increase, because two of them are two different things. So the civil servants, as far as I'm aware...
But some civil servants aren't working for minimum wage? Or working for minimum wage?
One of them, the minimum wage extends further than just civil servants.
Okay.
So I think sometimes persons may not understand the difference between the two, because there's an increase in civil servants' pay, but that is not as it relates to that's separate and apart from the increase in minimum wage. So there was an increase in minimum wage, right?
Okay.
Under the St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party just recently. There was also an increase in civil servants' salary yet again. And so what a lot of persons are saying, and I don't want to really express my views wholeheartedly, because, at the end of the day, I want to make sure that, as the host of the program, I could sit by any person and ask them the questions based on what the public want answers to.
Okay.
So I am very, careful in ensuring that there is some, as far as possible, some objectivity, even though I may have my own opinions.
Got you.
So, a lot of persons are criticizing and asking whether or not this is the time for it, and whether or not it's one that was, genuine, or just want to set the stage. In fact, the leader of the People's Action Movement in a social media post last year indicated that with the increases that were then promised for the year now, was just merely parliamentarians setting the stage for their increase. So, these are a lot of things that are in discussion. And of course, persons could weigh in on it. We were to have at 9 o'clock Patricia Bartlett, but she indicated to me that she could not be available today because, and I'm going to read the response, and then she said it was okay to share it as well. So she says at the time, she says, good night, Mr. Gumbs. I saw the ILNT ad for your discussion tomorrow and would like to inform you that my views on salary increase do not reflect the position of the NRP. Regrettably, I would therefore have to cancel my appearance as scheduled for fear that my views may be misconstrued as being consistent with the party's position on the issue. And she said, although I make no apology for my personal views, I would not wish to inadvertently draw the party into this controversy without the express permission of the executive. Thank you for your kind understanding. Best wishes and have a successful show. And we understand that. Yes, we have some calls.
Okay.
Hello, good morning. You're live on LNT.
Hi, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
I would like to make my contribution on the increase in salaries for government ministers.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Hey.
Yes.
Yes. I think I must say from the outset that I find the increase in salaries, it's poor timing, and the amounts that have been given are crazy. I have been racking my brain to see anywhere in the region, anywhere locally, anywhere in the world, where anybody is given a $5,000, $6,000 raise per month. Especially in the public service, I don't think that has ever been heard of, as far as I am aware. I must declare that. It is crazy that you go in and a year and some months into a job, you give yourself a raise of those kinds of amounts that we are hearing, ranging from $1,250 right up to $6,190 per month. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how many persons have done the calculation, but cumulatively it means that government ministers, parliamentarians and so on are going to get, at the end of each year, $422,760 in salaries. That's the increase. That's the increase on what they're already getting. Now,
but,
I hear the argument about 2005 was the last time and so on, and how ridiculously high cost of living is. But cost of living is high for everybody, not just the ministers. And the average person in St. Kitts, when you look at salaries, let's look at some of the low-end salaries. The ministers, even at the salaries that they were making, the ministers are getting 3 and 4 times more than what some of the averages are. So if they are saying that cost of living is high for them, can you imagine what cost of living is like for some of the average persons and lower than average persons? And I think the last time I checked, the minimum wage was raised by $70. I think that was the amount.
Yes.
But you raise your salaries by $6,190, $4,210, $3,710, and so on. Those are the raises that you give yourself. Now, why I am concerned is, before these persons ran, some were selected, some were elected, they knew what the salaries were. They knew. They had to have had some idea what the salaries are. So if you feel you cannot live on that salary, then don't put yourself in a position to have to make that salary. bypass that. When people come to you, they say, listen, I looked at the salaries, and I don't think my standard of living, that can maintain my standard of living. So I think I will pass until such time as these things change. The other thing is that when you put yourself up for elected office or you're going to politics, for me and for many people, it is about service. And service, inherently in service, is the understanding that there's going to be some sacrifice. So apparently these ministers and the other persons who are also will be benefiting from what has now transpired, they do not intend to make any sacrifices. Along with all of the sacrifices, everybody else is making a sacrifice. Everybody else is buckling their belt. Everybody knows that times are hard. Cost of living is high. And people are making the necessary adjustments. But apparently that rule of thumb does not apply to them. They are exempt from that. And so they give themselves, because that is what it is. So this is not about service. This is about self-service. You're being very self-serving when you go in and make whatever adjustments you feel you are at liberty to make because you have the power or the authority or whatever you use. You give yourself a raise like that. And in other words, it says to me, to hell with the people. All of self and none of me. This is classic narcissism, and it is rank and unadulterated greed.
Okay, we'll have to wrap up because we have another program, but we encourage you to call back and express your views.
If I need to, as I listen to the rest of the program. But those are my thoughts thus far.
Thank you, and they are extremely appreciated, and we welcome other views on the matter as time passes. We now have our regular segment here at 8:30. We have Traffic Talk, and so we are going to take a short break and get back to you.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Be careful on the road.
When it comes to the important things in life, your health, your education, your choice of a life partner, and of course your insurance provider, only the best will do. Caribbean Alliance Insurance is the only insurance company in the Eastern Caribbean with an A excellent rating. We have a robust 3-tier reinsurance strategy that protects our policyholders from multiple catastrophes, even if they occur in quick succession. We spread our risks over 18 territories, ensuring minimal impact to individual territories when a disaster strikes. We provide an excellent claims experience. Claim settlement is usually between 24 to 48 hours. Our A excellent rating means that you are more secure with us. Contact us for motor, property, marine, public liability, employer's liability, and other policies. Delisle Walwyn, people you can trust. Local agent for Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Tomorrow secured.
Be careful on the road. Don't make it an episode. Attention all drivers, I'm begging you to slow it down, slow it down, slow it down, down. Too many stop drivers on the road, man.
Yes, so we are back and we're here with Inspector Harris, right? I was making sure I had the right name because that's what I had in my mind too. So, Inspector Harris, we're here, and I know that there has been a notice about derelict vehicles being parked on a specific road. Could you give us more information as it relates to that?
A pleasant good day to all. As I said, my name is Inspector Harris, responsible for Traffic Department. With reference to derelict vehicle and broken down vehicle, the Traffic Department and other department within the community, district, police district, is in the process of removing derelict vehicle. We are on a push for the past 2 months, serving notice to the owners of broken down vehicles and also with derelict vehicle. Therefore, we are asking persons who already served the notice to remove those vehicles as like today and get that started out, because after the show, we will start to be pulling those vehicles to Canary. You got places like Cottingham Estate, that down in Kean area. You have the village area as well, where notice was served. So we asking persons who are received notice from the police must remove your vehicles urgently.
Okay.
When you say Connery, that means we're going to dump them?
That's correct, ma'am.
Yes. Also too, and we're here on Traffic Talk, and coincidentally, there were, from my recollection last evening, 2 accidents, and why I mention it is because I actually was at the Chinese supermarket by the camps, and then I heard a loud bang, and there was a collision involving a vehicle, a car, and a motorcycle, and the driver of the motorcycle, as a result of the collision, being flung on the road.
Is he still alive?
Well, I guess the officer could speak about it if he has information, but it came to me because we speak about these accidents and being able to be cautious, being cautious drivers, and when you see it in front of you and you see the person in pain and screaming, it really comes home. And so again, to those persons on the road, wherever you are, the need for persons to drive with due care, attention, and persons who are driving, the riding these motor vehicles really have to take caution, because when you look at it, the vehicles, the cars, the SUVs, the driver of these vehicles they're sheltered somewhat because of the frame of the vehicle. Whereas when you're on a motorcycle and you have that impact, you don't have that kind of protection, you're flung. So really persons, especially those persons on motorbikes, really do take care and caution. And then, strangely enough, I then went to Best Buy, and while in the parking lot by Best Buy, there was another accident. This one not as severe in the terms of persons being injured, but a collision. And I thought to myself, what are the chances moving from one supermarket to the next, and right there and then you have the accident.
Double accidents.
And then Traffic Talk this morning.
Oh, wow.
So persons really have to be very careful, very cautious when they're driving.
Bearing in mind that these bikes seems to be the one that are constantly getting in trouble, one would say that whomever is selling them should stop selling them and persons should stop riding them. But who is really at fault in most of these accidents? Is it the bikes, or is it the enclosed vehicle that has more support than the bikes? Because we know somebody being hit off a bike is very serious. As he said, the person was flung. We don't know how far and what injuries they sustained.
Well, as you said, with reference to accidents, is not the vehicle per se, but is the driver of that vehicle. It's not all the time the motorbikes riders at fault. People need to be careful how they driving, using the road, because other people is using the road. So be mindful of others. And that's why we often come here every week, try to educate the general public the way to use the road and what's not to do and what's to do. However, Tint, for example, is one of those
Causes of accidents?
offenses.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
because what happened? Persons with dark tinted vehicle, yes, they have the con and the pros, but the cons outweigh the pros. People often said that the tint cooling down the interior. The tint often keep the vehicle from getting crack up or something like that damages. But the cons now, when we look at, you cannot see outside properly. People usually come out the junction of vehicles, or out the junction into the main road, looking left, looking right. They, when the accident happened, they're indicating that they didn't see the vehicle come in.
Yeah.
And it's a straight road.
Wow.
So people need to think about the safety of others, because if a child passing across the road, what happened? Only when it happened to us, we will speak out.
Yeah.
And I was just, it was just brought to my attention yet again, speaking about these accidents. Just yesterday again in the morning, there was a Range Rover
Climbing
that was
a wall.
on the wall near, well, at Lodge.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
saw that yesterday too, and I was like, since when the Range Rover climbs?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
these are, and those are three things in one day, basically. Well,
Yeah.
at least what we saw, because there could be more that we didn't see. You know.
But Inspector, I want to ask, what did we do before 10? Where our vehicles were fine, right? They weren't breaking up. I'm not saying we shouldn't have the tint, so please, people, don't get me. But let's be within reason, as the officers are saying, because as you would rightfully say, you see some tints that come all the way down, and you're like, what's up with that?
Mhm.
It's like the car is about to close its eyes. So
Yeah.
what can we do? What are the repercussions? Are people being fined for tints? Because they're going to take the tint off, but they're going to put the tint back on with hopes that the officers don't see them when they're doing their routine traffic checks. So, Officer Sophie, what do you say? What can we do?
Well, as you say, we make them take it off, they put it back on. And every time we catch them, we fine them. And those who have their whole windscreen tinted, the maximum fine for that is $5,000.
All right, Dijan.
Yes.
Cost of living is high.
Yes.
Very high.
And the law states that 10 inches down. And that was passed on Wednesday, the 10th of October, 2021. 10 inches, nothing more than that. Anything more than that, it's an illegal.
Tint.
It's yes. And it's 35. Even if it's the front, it's 35%. Nothing less than 35.
Okay. For those vehicles that came with the tint that may not be regulated here in St. Kitts, so they're wrong tints, what does one do?
You're talking about the factory tinted vehicles?
Yes.
Well, yes, the factory tinted vehicles, sometimes some of them become like 20 something. We leave it like that.
Okay.
But anything less than that, you'll have to be rectified.
Okay.
And for rentals, I know when we talk about tint, rentals, it's a no-no for tint. No tint on rentals at all.
None whatsoever.
None.
Oh,
Whether
wow.
factory tint or what, no.
So what again, those ones that came factory tinted.
Well, they were giving them time to rectify the windows.
So
Yes.
take them, basically,
Yes.
they're taken off, okay.
And then when I look at it too, when it comes to tint, someone is in that vehicle driving, they commit some sort of offense. And to identify who that individual who is
cannot.
driving, you can't. And sometimes it's in this spur of the moment you need to identify. Let's say someone, for the sake of it, might have hit somebody. And then that person who has been hit is trying to identify
The driver.
the driver. But the screen or it's so
The
it's so
tint is so low. Or
the
too dark.
the tint is so dark you can't identify who's in that vehicle. And I could think of other scenarios where it is that it would be affected.
Can people like this, oh,
That
tint
would
don't
affect,
commit
yeah.
offenses? No. The tint not going to commit it, but it's the person inside of it.
Yeah.
As Azard said, Somebody might be driving and hit someone. You can't identify the driver.
And
It could be that the vehicle was stolen.
Exactly, that could be another situation. And so you're trying to see who is driving the vehicle. A lot of these scenarios happen and persons don't understand or perhaps put themselves in the position to understand because they're not faced with those realities until it happens to them.
Yes, and with reference to tint, persons are using tint to hide other offenses. For example, person driving without license, a valid license. You will not know the person don't have one until you start the vehicle. Because you cannot sit in the vehicle because of the dark tint. You understand? Person using cell phone,
Seat belts,
and so forth, and other offenses. And to make it worse, there are some people all the time talking about, because the police want to see the woman in a police vehicle and those stuff. But people need to be mindful, as I said, all when things happen to the person or the family, they know about the tint. What about those persons who taking up school child and go elsewhere? How could the police or the public observe what's
happening?
Right.
Yeah.
So people need to be mindful. I know people, the tint is what I must say, a controversial topic where people just some against, some for it. But we need to outweigh all the possibilities. So, and as we see it, tint is very, very bad when it comes to offenses within the Federation.
And one has to ask the question, why are persons so concerned that their vehicles are so heavily tinted? What is the concern? What do you not want? What
are you hiding? Let's don't fight it up, Azard. What are you hiding? What is it you don't want us to see?
To protect the interior.
Yeah, but what were we doing before we had tint? Weren't the interiors protected? As I said, I am not down in the tint, but be within what the officers are asking you to be within. $5,000 is a lot of money. We complain about cost of living. Why am I going to give the government $5,000 that I need? Exactly. So we have to do what's right.
35 is okay.
Yeah. I don't...
Sure.
Okay, caller, go ahead. You're live on Traffic Talk.
Good morning, Island T.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And good morning to all the traffic control here in the station.
Good morning.
Now, let me put this morning. It seems to me like the more accident occur, the more reckless these drivers drive. Up to last night when I come in from my work, I see a motorbike laying down in the road by the bus stop by camps. But they said that was in a car. This morning I was going in town, as old as it be. He done had an accident crossed there by John's Long Path. A garbage truck and a taxi bus. It seemed to me like the more things happen on the road, the more reckless the driver them drive. And you are trying your best because I see you out there on the road now and that is so good. You understand? But anyway, these things will occur because, the road full of vehicles, overflocked with vehicles now and whatever. But these drivers need to take the time. They need to take the time. All right then.
Thank you for your contribution.
Yes. So, you want to continue?
Yeah, but sometimes when the cyclists get in accidents, sometimes they are in the right. But because it's a small vehicle, we're not looking out for that. We're looking for big vehicles. But sometimes you have to drive with consideration for other road users.
And some people don't.
They don't.
Oh.
Because the cycle is small, so you're not looking out for that. You're looking for a big one that is coming. Sometimes when you look, a small one coming upon you, you say you didn't see it. Yeah, once we just drive with consideration, everything will be fine. We don't have to rush going over because saying it's small, as
Very
people will
small.
say.
Yes,
And you
indeed.
must get there. And if you're late, you cannot be no later.
No, exactly. So what's a rush? Just take your late and
Yes,
call it
you're
a
already
day.
late.
Yeah.
We have another caller.
Caller, go ahead. You're live on Traffic Talk.
Good morning. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Nice
I'm
to hear
down.
your voice. Azard and the young police officer, not my family, the other one, the youngster, the voice sound young. They was making a point. But the problem where Azard talk about is true. And the police officer, you all is the police. Don't care who in any vehicle. Once you look right to you all in your judgment, deliberately judgment, search them, woman and a woman. It's the law. And this young man who driving recklessly on the road, you all got to point up this thing on them. It's life. It ain't dog life, cat life, it's human being life. This thing now is gone and sink it. And I want to point out to you, we know got free movements. And people coming from other territory feel they could disrespect the laws of this country. And we're going to tolerate it, We're not going to tolerate that. When you go to Rome, you are going to Rome. When you go to Nevis, you are going to Nevis and Station. When you come to Syntax, you got to avoid. I remember one time, a white man being 14 checks from the Guyana come right down. And as soon as he hit here, he get caught. You know what he said when he going home? It's late ever to flying in from any territory. Passing out Syntax, he don't even want to look down see. The law is the law, youngster. And you all got to be a little tighter with these young fellas. It's Kuto and Jerry Nolan. Stop them and focus them. Too many people in the focus. Two police going back and forth and see them and ain't doing nothing. The law is the law. Me money when me working hard upon the social security shouldn't be going and paying for medication for people who could avoid these things. Have a good day and good morning, Sergeant.
Thank you, Colin.
Yes, jammed on, very passionate.
Yeah.
Yes, as always. So, and as he indicated, when there's an accident involving, a motorcyclist, it's not necessarily that the motorcyclist is in the fault all the time. There are different
Sergeant said that as
circumstances.
well.
Yeah, there's different circumstances, and of course. When we say this, we're not referring to any particular accident or the accident that happened yesterday, because no one knows the information yet. So that is not what we're talking about. We're just giving general guidelines of caution,
Yeah.
Be safe out there as you drive.
Is there a fine for somebody? Sorry, Officer Sophie. Sergeant Sophie. Is there
We have another caller.
Caller, go ahead. You're live on Traffic Talk.
Hello, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Just a quick question for the police. If civilians or anybody has a video of somebody driving recklessly, can the police do anything about it if that video is submitted to the police? I'll listen after you.
Mm-hmm. Inspector, Sergeant?
With reference to person driving recklessly committing whether any offenses, once he caught on video, it could be prosecuted.
And would that be anonymous? Would the person that submit the video have to eventually end up in court or at the station? Because I know some people want to avoid that, but they still want to help the police in policing.
With reference to video, that's the issue there, because the court will want to know, the defense will want to know where this come from, and the police end now will have to go. The post will have to take his phone to the police station where they do take off, download, and so forth. So it's a process. Just how you building a house foundation go straight up. We need to know where you start to where you end.
Okay, fair enough. Officer, Sergeant Sophie, I was asking before, is there a fine for somebody that is the cause of an accident?
Yes.
How much is this fine?
I am not sure. I can research and get back to you.
Okay, no problem.
And what the officer would have to do too, there are different charges.
Right.
So based on the circumstances, persons will be charged differently.
Okay.
From
So we have-
Even if they're the
Juke
cause of it.
We have Juke, we have reckless, we have dangerous
yeah.
driving.
Okay.
So there are different categories.
Tiers.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Wow.
first you have to see which one fits, and then which
Yes.
cap fit, and when you
Wow.
put the right hat on, then
The
then
charges.
then the charges, then the
The fines.
fines and everything, the
Okay.
sentence, everything would line up with that. Yeah, and even though you're charged, unless you plead guilty, the court has to be
Take in
satisfied.
consideration.
Yeah, because then you could present your own case. If you say not guilty, then you have a defense, and you have defense attorney that comes to your
Azard.
you have defense attorney, yes. So it all is there, and so it depends.
Okay.
Okay, so we are pressed for time, so we're going to ask you to just give us your final thoughts as it relates to the topic at hand this morning.
We have exemption of persons who can use or vehicle that can use tint. We have ambulances and hearses. And if anybody want the tint darker than 35%, you have to apply to the Minister of National Security. Without that, you can't say, okay, I apply and I'm waiting, so I have my tint that. Unless you don't have that letter in your hand, you'll be fine.
Okay.
So even if you're waiting for an answer from him, you have to wait until you get that answer, and then you put on the prescribed limit that you asked for. Anything other than 35, it's illegal.
I see some government vehicles that are dark. That's illegal, right?
It's illegal.
It's
It's
illegal.
illegal,
Okay,
yes.
just making sure because I don't want anybody to say, but look, the government vehicle there.
Certain government vehicles, yes.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Okay.
Azad, do you have anything to add? Inspector, anything to add before we go?
Okay, before we go, with just one thing, with reference to vehicle driving, like the number is saluting, we are the numbers to the side. We asking owners of vehicle place the numbers in the center of that vehicle. When you have a change of ownership form and so forth, there is a part down there on that document telling which part is supposed to be placed. And it said center front and center rear. We move all numbers from the side like you are saluting, get it sorted out, as the police will be dealing with you right on that spot.
Thank you so much, officers, for coming in.
Yes.
And thank you for, the usual traffic talk.
The road is now a racetrack, threatening life and property, and all the result of that led to death and injury. Inconsiderate driving.
When it comes to the important things in life, your health, your education, your choice of a life partner, and of course your insurance provider, only the best will do. Caribbean Alliance Insurance is the only insurance company in the Eastern Caribbean with an A excellent rating. We have a robust 3-tier reinsurance strategy that protects our policyholders from multiple catastrophes, even if they occur in quick succession. We spread our risks over 18 territories, ensuring minimal impact to individual territories when a disaster strikes. We provide an excellent claims experience. Claim settlement is usually between 24 to 48 hours. Our A excellent rating means that you are more secure with us. Contact us for motor, property, marine, public liability, employer's liability, and other policies. Delisle Walwyn, people you can trust. Local agent for Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Tomorrow secured.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Here are your Horsford's Value Mart IGA special.
Running February 22nd to March 6th.
Now our Value Club Blue Tax specials. Lace chips $8.99. IGA and the Central Everyday Salad dressing $10.99. After popcorn $7.99. Essential Everyday Mayonnaise $16.99. Blue Ribbon Ice Cream $32.99. Pearl Mix, Pancake Mix $12.49. And now our very low weekly
Value deals. Ocean Spray Cranberry Drinks $11.99. Post Honey Bunches of Oat Cereals $12.99. Ensure $8.99. Rice-A-Roni Dishes $7.99. Ama Toothpaste $14.99. Dawn Dish Liquid Soap $12.99. Shop Smart, Shop Value Mart. Tell them in Spanish.
Sea listo y haga sus compras aquí en Value Mart.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Yes, good morning, and we're back. Yes, so callers, before traffic talk, we highlighted a number of issues that.
And I have something I must read, though.
Oh, no problem.
Must read this.
Oh, yes. I think I know. Go ahead.
Alrighty, so this statement comes from the Honorable John L. Powell. It says...
Oh, okay.
Yes. So maybe what you were thinking wasn't what it was. So I want to make it clear that I support the recently passed resolution increasing salaries for our parliamentarians. This is a matter that requires attention and regularization for some time. Too often we underestimate the tremendous obligations and work done by parliamentarians and ministers of government, in particular under the guidance of politics. I also commend the current administration on having the integrity in public life legislation operational prior to doing so. These were two vital initiatives that should have and would have been done under a team unity administration for the leader. I, however, implored the old adage, to whom much is given, much is required. We expect better representation from our parliamentarians and ministers of government in particular moving forward as the stewards of our democracy.
Yes, I didn't expect you to read that one.
Yes, that's the one. And then we have somebody here that did a rebuttal. It says, only now I see why, as a party, we are where we are at. How is the party preaching one thing and you, a high-ranking member, publicly preaching another, to the extent of congratulating the government and highlighting what Team Unity didn't do as a government which you are a part of? But I didn't find that the Honorable said anything about the previous government. He just said he commends what they would have done and he think it is time. He never...
Yeah, but I really didn't. When you say I had something to read, I didn't.
And as he said, these were two initiatives that would have been done on the Team Unity. I didn't think he did anything bad. Said anything bad. They would have been done, and that's why I asked: Had Team Unity remained in power, if they didn't have that little riff or tiff after 2 years, I think they would have done it too.
Let's look at this statement, and let's look at the fact that statement was made by John L. Powell. It was done on his private Facebook page, right?
Indeed.
It wasn't part of the party's
statement.
None
at all.
Okay. Well, let's look at the time that the recommendations were done. 2018, right?
Yes.
The Honorable former Minister John L. Powell, he was elected in 2020, right?
Yes.
Okay. So those recommendations were put forward before his time.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I am going based on the actions that we have seen. And the actions that we have seen, to me, would suggest that wasn't something that was in the forefront of the administration on a whole. And the reason why I said that...
But he said there were initiatives that were under the former Team Unity, so they had them there.
You have the recommendations, yes, in 2018. We said recommendations are there, but they were not brought to the public in such a manner as to say that we have approved these, we are going forward with the approval. In fact, did you know that they were even there prior to all of these discussions?
No, because to be honest, I didn't follow stuff like
and
this
many
before.
persons, prior to the discussions last year, when a statement was made or a question was read at the St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party's first year anniversary conference, prior to then, this was not even a talk. So, again, the party, the People's Action Movement, has placed a statement out there, and it is the statement of the People's Action Movement that shows the stance that the People's Action Movement has taken. Of course, we also saw, too, that maybe that is his personal stance, and so he's entitled to his own personal stance.
Indeed.
You understand? But then there's the party stance as well. So, yes, the party has given its stance on the matter.
So the party takes precedence. The party stance take precedence over what Jonelle would have said.
Well, he did that in his personal capacity. I don't know. I mean, I can't say yeah or nay, but the party is more than. Yes, so the party stance is different from personal
But
stance.
I like the fact that he's telling them, okay, you've gotten the increase, just don't forget the people. Do right by the people. I like that part.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I thought that you were going to mention some sad news, actually.
No, I don't want to do sad news, but we have to do sad news, right? So,
Yes, so
what is the sad news? You mean Peter Morgan?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
condolences to his family.
Yeah.
I saw that
passed.
last night. And his age.
Yeah.
Listen, he's too young. 46. Nobody dies old anymore. Wow.
Yeah, so condolences to his family, his loved ones. You know, it's sad news in the music world and the wider Caribbean region. And as we hear personally and, you know, on behalf of Island T, we want to express our condolences to the family and loved ones who are mourning the loss of the legend Peter Morgan.
Yeah. I like how they had his name Peter Morgan, because you know how the Jamaicans how the accent goes.
He was the lead singer of the reggae group Morgan Heritage.
I thought he was older because of how he appeared with his little gray patch with his dreads. I didn't know he was that young.
Yes.
Wow. Sad to hear. And as I said, his children, his wife, his entire family, the group. Yeah. So Gramps, you are in our prayers.
So we have a call.
Okay, caller, go ahead. You're live on Island T. Good morning.
Greetings, IT.
Hey, greetings.
Everyone is good?
Yes, thanks. Yourself?
Yes, thanks. How are you?
Good stuff. I am well. Good stuff.
Good stuff.
Okay, we want to echo condolences, article condolences to the Morgan family. On behalf of ourselves and the Rastafari community. Knew their father, the elder, and communicated with him for quite a while while he was in Jamaica. Very royal family. And the age, you know, your co-worker just mentioned the age of Peter. Very young age, you know?
Yes.
Very young age. And it's unfortunate that these things happen at them age to people. I mean, it should happen at no age. Once we flex how we're supposed to flex, you know. But, you know, we just keep going down the road of not dealing with things that our health can benefit as it ought, you know. And these things just happen. Yeah, that's a very young age. Just a life begins at 40, that means he was just 70.
Yes, indeed. Life begins at 40, but he didn't get much of. He only got 6 of it.
47, that means he was just 7 years old. You know?
The article is saying that he was 46.
Yeah.
Beg pardon?
There's an article here saying that he's 46.
46.
46?
Yes.
I heard it was 47.
Okay.
Yeah, they have 2 articles. One says 47, one says...
Oh, okay.
All right, so that means he was just between 6 and 7 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a very young age.
Yes,
That's a very young age, you know. You're supposed to live. You're supposed to have long livity, man. I mean, look at trees. When you look at trees, hundreds of years old, hundreds of years. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
Anyhow, I more condolences to the families. I know they are feeling it. Didn't expect that at all. When you saw the news on the media, you really had to call Jamaica and get it straight from the family members. And when we and it was confirmed. We really, yeah, we felt the sadness that the family is feeling at this point in time. You just have to live for him, you know? Yeah. Thanks to the time, IT. Blessed love.
Yes, man. All the best, Elder. And it says here in this article, Morgan Heritage, they are renowned for reggae classics such as Down by the River, She's Still Loving Me, and Don't Happy Be Dread to Be Rasta.
Yeah.
You know, those popular songs. Yeah. So condolences to the family, loved ones, you know, the whole community, Jamaica, the wider Caribbean.
Yeah.
Yes, such an icon.
Indeed. At least he left an indelible mark on the world.
Yeah.
Because they would have won Grammys and everything. So I guess that community's mourning as well. So condolences to all associated with Mr. Morgan.
For persons, the Caribbean heads arrive in Guyana for CARICOM meeting. So Guyana is abuzz with activity today, and this was 21 hours ago this article was published. So when they say today, they mean 21 hours ago, as Caribbean leaders and other foreign guests have touched down for the 46th regular meeting of the Conference of the Heads of Government of the Caribbean Community. So, the opening ceremony starts at 5 p.m. Several leaders have already arrived, including Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Prime Minister of Barbados, Prime Minister of Dominica, Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And it also has here Prime Minister of Grenada, Premier of Montserrat, Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda. So, yes.
So it says in one that was published 57 minutes ago that Caribbean Leaders Open Summit in Guyana with Haiti set to dominate talks. And I was thrown aback when I got back. I realized now that the former president of Haiti wife is involved in his murder, if that is even true.
Yes, she has been charged. Yeah.
But how all of a sudden she's now charged? This is crazy.
Yeah. It's she's charged. So yes.
Wow.
And along with other, officials that, really when the news struck of these persons being charged, you're like,
exactly.
What?
I'm like, you. And this is why sometimes it's hard for I'm a very empathetic being. Like I cry for the smallest things.
Yes.
And I'm like, how? You are on the television asking everybody to intervene to help to solve your husband's murder, and you're part of it. Where is our hearts?
Yeah, we have a call.
Okay, caller, go ahead. Good morning. You're live on Alan T. Okay, we lost that one.
Have another caller?
Good morning, caller. You're live on Alan T.
Yes.
When the Attorney General was on the ear, after they did themselves away, you all tell him, right?
Yes.
That I said that, what it was again? When I talk about the rain. We know the money small, but they work 2 years yet. We know on the street, poor people, especially the so-called university members, we know that was forced to do that. There's some grabalicious members. We know that. The people in the country can't feel pleased with that. You know why is that? The government had a press conference Tuesday in the week. And it's nothing to the country. But who we be? And we the Iowa. All of self and none of thee.
Oh, wow.
All of self and none of thee. I don't tell my friend that, you're the engineer. Do not let them gabalicious people behind you force you to do these things, Do it all for your own independent conscience. It's wrong. It's terrible. Watch up there, the bone them must be a knock. I want my fellow hearing them. It's terrible. The country can't accept them behavior deal. When you got a card in home, look like a prison. Come on, these people are dealing with. When you rush for to make money, and the Prime Minister sitting down in the assembly trying to justify what is campushness to the highest level. We know the money small. But Lord, work a period of time now, man. It's people you're dealing with. The public service, the people in the country, non-established work. That who work for a certain time before you get a raise. Look what they do. Show 8 on us and take 32. Well, we must be from the dumbest part of the world. Have a good day.
Thank you for your contribution, Jamdong. So, we, again, the discussion is still out there. Persons have been talking about it. Of course, there are numerous persons against, and there are persons who are in support. And so, we balance the views, but a lot of persons, when they're talking about the increase in the minister's salary, they're coming from a point that, at this time, and they're looking at the ministers themselves in the sense that these officials have not been in office for more than 2 years. And even though the point is made, there has not been an increase since 2005, a lot of persons are looking at those who are in office now and the fact that those who are pushing for the increase now have not been there for more than 2 years. Perhaps the situation might have been different if the same persons who were there from 2005, but yeah, let's hear what persons as it relates to it. Yeah, we have another caller. Caller,
go ahead. You're live on Island T. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning to you guys. Yeah, big up to the Morgan family, man. Respect, you know what I mean? Condolences to that family, man, of the loss. We also had another loss, man. Family man from the former whalers recently. We didn't hear mention of that.
Okay, thank you.
Condolences to that family as well.
Family as well, yes.
The big talk around town right now is this increase that these parliamentarians gave themselves. To me right now, we should not let them hide behind their comments, and we should have them in person. You should bring them on the program in person rather than hiding behind these comments that you're reading off of Janel's Facebook page. And the AG himself, he called in, yes, but that day when the AG called in, Azard, don't let this man control the narrative, man. Don't let him control the narrative. You know what I'm saying? I know how the judicial system is in Sinkis and Nevis is such that the lawyers then think that they're in a brotherhood. And nobody wants to oppose each other when they're wrong. I know that's your boy, and you all might have went to school together, and you're all in the law profession together. But you cannot let him talk for the people. He can only talk for himself and the government. We know how things are when you go to a job. You know what I mean? They're talking about performance in the job sphere there. The premier had some conversations about people not performing, and they're downtown hanging out at the bars and stuff. And when we had the conversation about the double coming up for the Christmas, and what we got to pay attention to is that the people did not get a double; they got a 50%. So we're going to watch and see what's going to be the next go around. When persons go into government, they make changes accordingly to suit themselves when they go in. But when they're campaigning, it's a different story. This government, you got to keep their eyes on them because they're changing and doing stuff to appease themselves. Last year, when they tried to get that 85% increase and the people kicked back on them, they mean to themselves they was going to come back this year and pull a blanket quickly over the people's eyes. Short notice, no consultation with the public. Right now, if the public is dissatisfied, they need to go and protest in the street peacefully. It's too much lip service in Sinkis and Nevis, bro. When the issues come up to the national level, we must protest and boycott to make them, to push them up against the wall. We cannot just be having talk, bro. We need action. These politicians, sometimes they need to be shown who got the power in their hands. The people got the power in their hands. So the commission, that document where they said that was left there, but was granting them when they did the inquiry or whatever to try to give the parliamentarians the change, because of the fact that they couldn't get that, they didn't go after that 85% because the people pushed back on them. So what they did, they gravitate to that document so that they can make excuses. But in reality, man, these people want to give themselves that 85%. And they said that the review is done every 3 years. So basically, in 3 years from now, if another review is done and their salary increases, they can likely give themselves another increase in this first term here. You know what I'm saying? So you all got to pay attention to what these guys are doing. These politicians, what I don't like about them is that they do whatever they want to do. They do not consult with the public that put them in there. The electorate is the one that got the power in their hands. And we got to, at some point, bro, we're going to have to show these politicians who really got the power. St. Kitts and Nevis is the only place where I see does not have protests. They don't have no protests in St. Kitts and Nevis. So therefore, these politicians, they're just going to run away with everything. They're going to run away with the spending and everything else they want to do. They're not being checked at all, bro. They're doing what they want to do. All of the stuff that they say and examples that they're bringing up, they're only bringing up to justify what they have done now, right? And nobody can do nothing about it. It's already in stone now. This resolution is already passed. No matter how much talk we have about this topic now, there's nothing nobody can do if we don't go in the street and shut down. That we can stand up to them when they're doing wrong and when they're doing stuff that the general public doesn't like. We have to kick back on these people and hold their feet to the fire at times. We cannot just let them run away with what they want to do and run away with the place, man. The man doing whatever they feel like they want to do. They get in power and they act like they're elitists, man.
Let me ask you, when you think would have been an appropriate time for the increase?
Okay, well, those questions are for the economists now, you know what I mean, and the financial experts. The economy is not where it's supposed to be, or where, you know what I mean, to justify such an increase to carry that burden. You know what I mean? Because what happened is those other social programs that there seems like they might be taken away from the average man, them extra monies is going to go in their pockets now. You know what I mean?
Okay,
the
so
general public right now is very dissatisfied.
Yeah, we have another caller, so we want to say thank you for your contribution, okay?
Always.
Thank you so much. Caller?
Yeah, good morning again, Azard.
Good morning.
And who that, Kortensia?
Yeah, Kortensia.
Kortensia, yes.
Oh, Kortensia, okay. Now, first I want to send my condolences out to the Northern Heritage Group, a very popular group, very versatile group, and the kind of music they used to deliver, even the school children could sing and really educate from the music. Now, I want to ask you a question, right? You say if Team Unity did continue the government, they win the election, if they're going to pass the bill,
yes,
in giving themselves a raise.
Yeah.
After the 2 years.
Yeah.
Well, what me got to say, right? Suppose the country was in a better position to do that. Economically wise, economically strong, and the people them get a good percentage and get a good raise and everything, I wouldn't have seen a problem with that. But right now the economy weak.
Okay. Fair enough.
The economy weak, and let me tell you something. Them is the government. They do what they got to do. Really, they give themselves a raise, and I think that if the people have got a problem and a concern about it, they call and talk about it. They do something to the last guy. They do something about it.
Okay, then. So
now my next question.
Yeah.
I want the Rastafarian. I know Rastafarian to come out and speak out against what's going on here. But none of them Rasta man they come out and speak out about going on here.
You have about 10 seconds, Mr. Politics.
Because I don't know. Because what's going on here ain't different to what's going on in Africa. Because we land them and we land them give away back to the white man. Look at Christopher Harbour.
Okay, then.
Okay,
we have another segment, so we'll have to cut it here, okay? Okay. So
Found the sound 98.9.
Are you looking for a new dining experience to whet your appetite? Explore the flavors of the world at Pangea Multi-Cuisine Kitchen and Lounge. Our menu features Latin, Chinese, Mexican, and Indian cuisine with a local twist. The cozy and elegant ambiance provides the perfect backdrop for an unforgettable dining experience. Whether you're in the mood for a romantic night out, a family dinner, or a business lunch, our restaurant is the perfect place to discover new tastes and enjoy a delicious meal. Book your table at Pangea Multi-Cuisine Kitchen and Lounge today by calling us at 465-9100 or visit our website at ktcsvdm.com and our Facebook page at Pangea by KTCS Limited. We are located in the heart of Port Sante, Bastille, St. Kitts. Come and explore the flavors of the world.
Tea time, calling night, noon and morning. Tasty biscuit, just can't resist it. Tea time, calling night, noon and morning. Tasty biscuit, just can't resist it.
You can dunk it, you lick it, you taste it, you spin it, you twist it, you can mix them all together. It don't get any better. You can dunk it, you lick it, you taste it, you spin it, you twist it, you can mix them all together. It don't get any better. Anytime, whatever time, it's tea time. Whatever time, it's tea time. Snack on a delicious tea time biscuit anytime. It's tea time.
(9:33). We've got a seriously full house. We've got the Leeward Islands debating team representing St. Kitts. On deck, we have 6 members plus the teacher.
So, good morning to everybody. Yes, we're here on Island Tea and we have the 6 debaters that will be representing St. Kitts in the Leeward Islands debate competition. With them too is also the Dean of the faculty ASGS and who has been I think the coach and the staff sponsor of the event for the team. And so we want to say welcome to all of you this morning.
Thank you for having me.
So, tell us, first, let us know your names because over the time period when the competition is on, we're going to know your names because you guys are going to be there. So, we want to know the names from now, not just then. So, tell us what your names are. Introduce yourselves.
Come on, first person.
Okay.
Speak into the mic.
So, I'm Akonja Robinson.
My name is Kayla Butler.
My name is Josiah Green.
I'm Michaela Richardson. I'm Denise Rollins.
I'm Kayla Penny.
Okay, wonderful. Let me ask you a question. I know CFBC is, one school, but I always like to know which school did you come from in terms of high school? What high school you came from?
I came from the best of the best. The home of the Wildcats, Washington National High School.
I came from the birthplace of champions, Bastille High School.
I came from the Immaculate Conception Catholic School.
I'm another champion from BHS. I'm another Wildcat from Washi.
I'm one of the Stormers from Bastille High School.
Okay, wonderful. So we have different persons from different schools, and so they're now under one umbrella representing the Clarence Fitzroy Bryan College. Let me ask you, are you guys excited?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Have you guys debated before in any competition prior to what you're going to be experiencing soon?
Well, I did debate last year for the Leeward Island debate competition.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I also was on the team last year.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I just remember. Yeah, go ahead.
I also debated last year at the tourism debating competition.
Okay, wonderful. So you guys have experience, and from the looks of it, we have second years who debated last year as part of the competition. So you guys are, well, I guess in our perspective, the seniors of the team.
Except for me.
Yes. So let me ask you, what inspired each of you to participate in debate?
Well, what inspired me to be a debater is my future aspirations to become a lawyer, and I felt as though debating would, put me in a better position towards my future. It would enhance my skills, especially public speaking. So, and I just always wanted to be a debater.
So lawyers normally become politicians eventually. Is that a goal of yours as well?
Well, wherever the wind blows.
Well, for me, growing up, I had a cousin who was a debater when she was in college, and she was kind of like a big sister to me. So I got to see how she enjoyed being a part of the team and just being a part of something bigger than yourself and representing your country. So I decided to follow in those footsteps.
Wonderful.
I wanted to be able to properly communicate my thoughts and ideas, so I thought debating was the way to go, because it's one thing to be able to conceptualize and, dream up what you want to do, but it's another thing to be able to properly communicate that with others so you can achieve your goals.
So what is your intended career path as you go forward in life?
Oh, medical science.
For me personally, I had always been encouraged by people around me. They would just say, oh, you should join debating, because of how I would carry conversations with them. So I just finally decided to do it. Like, I had a teacher in high school, and I would always contest her as to what she said. Like, she would say this, and I'd be like, what happened? Tell me exactly why that is. I would always go back and forth with her, and so she used to be like, you should be in debate. So that's why I'm here.
And what's your intended career path?
I would like to be a marketer.
Okay, fair enough. And you have to speak a lot to market yourself, so that's good.
Yes.
Since young, I've always been a strong speaker. However, I've been very shy. So I decided to enhance my public speaking skills. So I joined the debating club, and when the opportunity came to try out, I tried out.
And I'm going to ask the same question that I'm asking to everybody. What do you intend to do when you get a little older?
I'd like to be an English teacher.
When I came to CFBC, I had one goal, and it was to improve my public speaking skills. So when I joined the Debating Society, that was the goal. And as I was selected to be in the competition, the love for it was developed, and this is a key part in propelling me towards the career path that I want to choose, which is being a politician, a powerful female politician. So this is good practice and exposure for me, and I am embracing it, and hopefully, yeah.
Which high school again?
Bastille High School.
Wonderful, wonderful. So let me go down to Mr. Robinson. You're the only male on the team. Do you see that as an advantage, disadvantage, being a part of the team?
Disadvantage to myself?
Whichever way you want to look at it.
Well, no, I just see it as an opportunity to, represent the male community. And I also wish to show other males that you can represent yourself in any room you wish to represent, even if it's a female-dominated room. You be where you want to be.
I like that. I like that. So I hope the other young gentlemen are looking and listening to Mr. Robinson and realize that you can be part of something great.
Right.
Yeah.
And that brings me to another question. How many males are really active in the debate society at the CFBC?
We have a few males, actually.
Okay.
I feel like it's an equal ratio.
Okay. So let me ask you as well now then do you have... tell us, when is the competition?
The competition begins from Thursday, 29th March, and it ends at March 3rd.
Okay, wonderful. So wonderful. So it's March 29th.
No,
oh, sorry.
February
29th, yeah. It's here in St. Kitts. So actually, is this week?
Yes.
So, wow. So, yeah, and it finishes on the 3rd. I know it goes over a weekend period.
Right.
Yes. So wonderful. And so, tell us what is done for the Thursday, the Friday, and go on. Like, I may be aware, but I want you to explain to those persons listening, how does one advance? What is expected when the schools come together, the students come together, the countries come together? What is expected?
Okay, well, Thursday,
Mhm.
you know, that's basically the introduction. You know, we
Mhm.
get to meet and mingle. You get to, you know, basically introduce ourselves to each other. And then the Friday, that's when the debating begins. And it goes on, proceeding that.
So you guys will have to draw numbers on when? Thursday or Friday?
You can answer.
Mhm.
No, we already drew the numbers, so we know which sides we're on. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, interesting. But then you guys wouldn't know which team you're against until the night.
For us, no, because we're first debating in the semifinals.
Mhm.
So we will debate the winner of the second debate that happens on Friday.
Okay, let me ask you, which country won last year?
St. Martin.
St. Martin. Okay, then. So St. Martin is the defending champions.
Yeah.
You guys, I know when I was in CFPC, we had a count as to the countries and the number of times they won. How many times has St. Kitts won so far?
We've won 10 times so far.
10 times.
Yes.
Wow, wonderful. Are we in the lead for winning?
We're the second highest.
Mhm.
Yeah, we're the second highest.
Second
amount of
highest. So
wins.
which country is first?
Anguilla.
Anguilla. Okay, Anguilla. Okay.
So what are we gonna do to dethrone Angola? What are we doing here? What are we gonna do to dethrone them?
You're winning.
Yes.
Huh? Of course.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So you guys are gonna be. I'm looking at the team at 6. So you guys are gonna debate twice. Like, is the debate designated? One team is gonna debate this, and then the next team is gonna debate that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm. Okay then. But then, you would be. So you already say you know your side. So you know already the sides. So none of you have been selected yet as to who's going to be the first off. You don't have to tell us who. But have you guys already made the selection as to who's going to be first in the first round?
Yes, we
Okay.
have.
Okay then. Cool. Okay then.
Is
Yes.
there nerves?
Yeah, there's some nerves, of course.
Okay.
Mhm. But I must say that you guys, even in this interview, look very calm and poised, and you guys have represented yourself and expressed yourselves very well. And so I must say congratulations to you for taking up this opportunity to represent St. Kitts in the competition. And I say St. Kitts because Nevis will also be having a team as well, right? Yeah, Nevis has a team. Yes. So any final words that you guys will want to give as it relates to the competition?
Come on and support. It should be an interesting competition, and we look forward to hearing the discussions from the audiences after the debate, the different debates, because it's more than one, and because it is a variety of interesting moods. I think we'll all be, or most people would be interested to hear the discussion. We touch on a lot of topics from feminism to education to AI, and so it's an audience for everybody.
Okay, wonderful. And we want to wish you well as you represent St. Kitts in this very prestigious competition. You understand? Thank you so much. Kortensia, would you like to say anything as we...
I just want to say congratulations to my good teacher that's behind there that taught all of us, and now she's still imparting knowledge to these young ones right here. And I want to wish them nothing but the best. I see confident faces in front of me, and I'm looking forward to the politicians that will lead me eventually in my older age. Yeah.
Also, Miss Brooks was there when you were there too.
At high school bass there?
Oh, wow. So she's been
know,
there.
that's
Yes, she
the
was there when I was there as well. So she's a long-standing. And so let's say congratulations to Miss Brooks, who continue to, lead the team and continue to do what she has to do in order to make St. Kitts and Nevis proud as well. So thank you so much, Miss Brooks. Yes, Dean Brooks. Yes. So again, guys, thank you so much for coming and for giving us the information that you have. We now conclude this morning's program, and we ask you to stay as... Okay. So we now wrap up this segment, and we'll get back to you, okay? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have very nice.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
Buster, pour it up, need the thirst quencher in my cup. If you have one, hold it up and say, bust the brother colors in my life. Refreshing and nice, and I drink that what we like. Bust and you full of vibes, living full of color. And I'm black and white, we do what we like. We live to enjoy life. Buster, pour it up, different flavor. Load it up. If you have one, hold it up and say, bust the brother colors in my life.
Are you looking for a new dining experience to whet your appetite? Explore the flavors of the world at Pangea Multi-Cuisine Kitchen and Lounge. Our menu features Latin, Chinese, Mexican, and Indian cuisine with a local twist. The cozy and elegant ambiance provides the perfect backdrop for an unforgettable dining experience. Whether you're in the mood for a romantic night out, a family dinner, or a business lunch, our restaurant is the perfect place to discover new tastes and enjoy a delicious meal. Book your table at Pangea Multi-Cuisine Kitchen and Lounge today by calling us at 465-9100 or visit our website at ktcsvdm.com and our Facebook page at Pangea by KTCS Limited. We are located in the heart of Port Sante, Bastille, St. Kitts. Come and explore the flavors of the world.
So we're back, INT. Wow, such a wonderful set of students representing St. Kitts in the Leeward Islands debate competition. Kortensia, what are your thoughts?
My thought is that, as I said, my teacher is doing a great job. These young people are very promising, and I look forward to hearing that St. Kitts has that trophy this year, and that we bridge that little lead that's there with Anguilla. Yeah.
It's going to be such a highly contested competition, I could imagine, especially given the topics that they said, the areas, and, you know, everyone is their own judge at the end of the day. And I know persons are going to be keen to listen and to see whether or not St. Kitts can be victorious in this competition. And, you know, all the other schools from the various countries, they're bringing their A team in. And of course, in a sense, we, St. Kitts, Nevis, we have like 2 teams going in.
Why couldn't we have a mixed team? We're a federation. We're St. Kitts and Nevis. You see, the other day I just said St. Kitts, Nevis. I almost got my tail handed to me.
Yes.
But come on, St. Kitts and Nevis. We needed to join the teams together. I don't see why we have separate teams. That's just pointing to division.
Think about it. We have 2 bites at the cherry. So we have.
That's why.
If we think about it
all right,
positively.
fair enough.
So if we have 2 teams.
Imagine St. Kitts and Nevis competing against each other. Huh?
They have.
What if that is the end result? How does that look?
They have before in the finals competed.
Oh boy.
For the championship.
Okay.
So you know, either way, we're all winners.
Okay.
You know, the federation.
I just
wins.
loved if it would have been mixed. So it could have been 6 and 6, and we have a grand team of 12. The federation, St. Kitts and Nevis.
Well, you know, it is what it is, and in the grand scheme of things, we could think about it positively and think that, you know, we have the federation wins, and if it's Nevis, the federation wins if it's St. Kitts.
Okay, fair enough.
So we have 2 teams that we're rooting for coming in this competition, you know.
And I like the fact that the young people of today are realizing their weaknesses. They're not shying away from it. They're deciding, I need to be better at this, and this is how I'm going to elevate myself. And they're joining the varying teams and the varying clubs to enhance themselves. So it's no longer your parent has to say, speak properly, do this. These young people are doing it for themselves.
And it is important that they see the need for it, and it is significant that they have seen the need, that the fact that they are participating, because communication is important. The way in which you express yourself is important. The way in which you communicate your thoughts to others is important. And at the end of the day, sometimes it's the best communicator, the person who can communicate best, is victorious. Because it's all about messaging, whether it is in politics, whether it is in law, whether it is in
every engineering.
As a doctor, you have to communicate. As a teacher, you have to communicate. As a host, you have to communicate. Every area
of life, you just have to communicate. Because even the little babies, we see they try to communicate, and we don't understand a thing of their little baby gibberish. But they're like, And I notice some parents now, I don't know if it's a trend. Well, it is a trend where parents are saying, I love you to their little babies, and seeing if the babies can say it back. And most of these little babies are accomplishing that goal. They're not even walking, they're still in their parents' hand, and they're, I love you. They're saying it. So.
And even in our own close circles, as in relationships, communication is important.
Key.
In friendships, relationship is important. In bonds, whatever it is, really,
communication is the key to success.
Yes. So, the better they are at honing those skills,
as early as they can,
the better they are to develop and, even to perfect it.
Yeah, I can't wait to see who will be leading me in my elderly age. I'll be looking at their communication styles. I'll be looking at everything that they do, because these young people, they have a very bright future.
And if you look at it, you look at, and you talk about politics, communication is important. When you are communicating as a public figure, as a politician, your words are very important, and so you must guard those words. You must be careful as to how you portray. And communication is not just about the words as well, but the attire communicates too. The way in which you use your gestures, your hands, the way in which your body speaks. You understand? Because body language is important too. So all of these things, they're honing, and it's only for their own best development.
Yeah, well, up next we have Money Matters, and again we're going to communicate how to use your money wisely. So you see, it's all about communication.
All about communication.
So you have to stay tuned for Money Matters.
And of course, INT concludes, but same place, same time tomorrow. Join us, guys. Interesting discussions and topics ahead.
Indeed, so good to be back.
Good to have you back. Yes.